Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Today's subject is Dr. Anthony Fauci. Dr. Anthony Fauci, whom the liberal press apparently has anointed as our infectious disease pandemic guru, the all-knowing, omnipotent seer, the person who knows everything, whose advice on dealing with the pandemic is to be taken absolutely as gospel. Never mind, as I'm about to show you, he has lied. He has lied to us, lied to the American people on at least two occasions about the pandemic. I'm going to start, though, with Marco Rubio. Here's the headline. Rubio is right. Fauci has repeatedly lied because he thinks you're stupid. You're meaning we. Thinks we're stupid. Nearly a year into our 15 days, nearly a year into our 15 days to slow the spread, our political class still refuses to call out our supposed medical experts for repeatedly discrediting themselves with noble lie after noble lie. And remember that, the 15 days. Remember Vice President Pence, based on advice from Dr. Anthony Fauci, telling us we had to lock ourselves down, stay inside for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, 15 days. I thought it was 14 days. Apparently it was 15 days to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Not stop it, just slow it. So it would be spreading anyway, as we now know, almost a year later. But just getting back to the article, that's another subject, I guess, for another day. I just think this lockdown business is nonsense. I'll get to that actually a little bit later. But getting back to the article, finally, Senator Marco Rubio has rightly called out Anthony Fauci for lying to the public because our ruling class believes us plebeians to be too stupid to understand the actual science about the coronavirus. Now, here is a tweet from Senator Rubio. Dr. Fauci lied about masks in March. Dr. Fauci has been distorting the level of vaccination needed for herd immunity. It isn't just him. Many in elite bubbles believe the American public doesn't know, quote, what's good for them, unquote, so they needed to be tricked into, quote, doing the right thing, unquote. You want more detail? Here is more detail. This is from Just the News. Here's the headline, and this is from Fauci himself. This is Fauci's own words. Fauci says he altered public scientific estimates based on opinion polls. In a Christmas Eve interview with the New York Times, Dr. Fauci acknowledged he had offered a lower estimate of the level of herd immunity necessary to stop the COVID-19 pandemic because he thought Americans would be discouraged by hearing his true thoughts on the issue. He recently raised his estimate on the herd immunity threshold, quote, partly based on new science, and partly on his gut feeling that the country is finally ready to hear what he really thinks, unquote. Fauci himself told the paper, the New York Times, that he had withheld the higher estimates because polling results made him think such estimates would be viewed unfavorably. Quote, this is Dr. Fauci again, quote, when polls said only about half of all Americans would take a vaccine, I was saying herd immunity would take 70 to 75%. Then, when newer surveys said 60% or more would take it, I thought, I can nudge this up a bit. So I went to 80, 85, unquote. And we'll get this. This is really golden. Pay attention to this. Fauci admitted that scientists, quote, really don't know what the real number is, unquote, though he himself estimated that the, quote, real range is somewhere between 70 to 90%. But again, he just admitted that he doesn't know. He doesn't know what the real number is. He's just giving us an estimate, which, if you translate that to English, I think he is really saying It's a guesstimate, not an estimate, a guesstimate. He doesn't know, and we are rearranging our lives just because of his guesstimate. I would also add that when you say the real range is somewhere between 70 to 90%, the population of the United States right now is about a tad over 330 million. That was the estimate of, as of this year. So you're talking about 70 to 90%. You're talking about over 60 million people, 60 million Americans. That is not a small number. You're talking about vaccinating hundreds of millions of Americans, and the number needed for this herd immunity could vary by 60 million Americans. The real problem I have with this is that I just don't see 90% of the population getting vaccinated. I just don't see them doing it because you have these anti-vaxxers out there. You have also younger people younger people, to be honest, they are very unlikely to get the disease, to get coronavirus. It's the old geezers, such as myself, and the geezers who are even older than I am, so they could be on pretty safe ground. But if you're going to require 90% of the American population to be vaccinated before we can stop wearing these masks and everything can be open in these liberal cities, which I'll get to in a moment, I see that as a real problem. But listen to what Fauci says here. He says the real range is somewhere between 70 to 90%. He guesstimates, quote, "But I'm not going to say 90%, though he just did. I'm not going to say 90% because doing so might be discouraging to Americans," unquote, according to the New York Times. So Fauci is a liar. He's a liar, and he has admitted that he is a liar, that we cannot rely on anything that he says. So, well, first of all, I'm going to get to my final point on Dr. Fauci, the liar, but I just want to show you this chart first, comparing California and Florida under different degrees, under two extremes of restrictions from or because of coronavirus. California, as you may know, is under very strict restrictions, mandated mask wearing, lockdowns, and attendance in restaurants heavily restricted. But you can see this chart that will compare California to Florida, which has very light restrictions. Everything is open in Florida, and regarding mask mandates, there is no statewide mask mandate in Florida. Well, it's up to the local jurisdictions, local cities. But as you can see from this chart, California, this is daily new cases per 1 million residents. You can see the number is much higher in California than in Florida, even though California has much tighter restrictions. So I am not going to argue the scientific evidence about how effective masks are. I am going to argue about the effectiveness or dispute the effectiveness of mask mandates, because you can, you can look at this chart and compare California and Florida. Obviously, the masks aren't doing anything in California. I don't know what they're doing in Florida, but obviously they're not doing anything in California. So I really don't see the link between the mask mandates and the results as far as preventing the spread of coronavirus. Which gets me now to my point, getting back to Fauci. I digressed a little bit. Trump should fire him. It's not just a matter of Fauci lying to us, lying to the public. There's no doubt in my mind that he lied to Trump too. He lied to the President of the United States. On that basis, Trump should fire him immediately. I understand that Biden has asked Fauci to stay on. Trump, from all indications, will not be president anymore in 2 weeks. So he could fire Fauci, and Fauci will immediately be hired back, rehired by the Biden administration. But he should fire him anyway, just on principle, number one. And number two, to say to the American people, if Biden rehires him, he is rehiring a liar, a proven liar on 2 occasions. He is hiring or rehiring somebody who will lie, who has no compunction about lying, not just to us, the American people, but to Biden, to the president. He will lie to the president if Fauci, in his personal wisdom, decides that Biden and we, the American people, are too stupid, not advanced enough to accept the truth. I'm going to just leave that subject there. That's my advice. If anybody has personal connections to Donald Trump, definitely pass my advice along. I and the nation would appreciate it, would benefit from it. Now, I want to leave you with a video. This is, well, this could be, I found this very interesting. It could be the most boring video you have ever seen or the most interesting video you have ever seen. I would guess the latter if you're into basketball at all. This is a gentleman named Stephen Curry. All he is doing, it is just 5 minutes of him shooting from several yards away, shooting three-pointers, shooting three-pointer baskets for 5 minutes, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. That's the whole video. The reason it's not boring, the reason it's so interesting is because he makes every single shot. Does not miss a single shot. He shoots just in rapid fire. He shoots a basket, the ball is caught by somebody else, passed to somebody else, and then somebody passes the ball from before to him. Just he's constantly being passed these basketballs. Every couple of seconds, he immediately shoots a basket, and he doesn't miss for 5 minutes. So, well, let's put it this way. It's a lot more interesting than watching paint dry, which I have done, by the way, when I've had to do something with a painted surface waiting for the paint to dry. I have actually watched it dry. It's supposed to be rapid dry, but just to be honest, this is more interesting than watching paint dry or grass grow. I think you should watch it, at least watch a little bit of it. So that's it for today. I'm going to do something a little different today and say goodbye before I show you the basketball video, because it is 5 minutes. You may not stick around long enough for my goodbyes. So here comes the video, but first, if you could give me, after the video, a thumbs up if you like this video. It would really be great. I'd appreciate it. You could share with anybody you think would also like the video. Got any comments? Comment section below the video, where you can put questions, suggestions for future topics. You could also subscribe. I love getting new subscribers. You could also listen to my music channel, my original music. That would really be fantastic, and you can put a thumbs up there too and subscribe. There's a link in the description below the video here, and you could also know how much I appreciate you spending your time with me. I really do appreciate it. I would also like to see all of you again. That would be really wonderful. And until I do see all of you again, well, I would ordinarily say goodbye, but this time I'm going to say goodbye, but after my goodbye, there is the basketball video. So goodbye, and watch the basketball video.